भाई साहब भाई अनूप सिंह जी ऊना वाले वो भी पहुँच रहे हैं। 7 बजे तो लैके 8 बजे तक भाई साहब जी कीर्तन करनगे। सब ने आप जी ने हाजरियां भरनियां। गुरफतेह बुलाओ। वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह।
सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरू साहिब जी। एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भव निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसे भी सच। वाहेगुरु सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु साहिब जीओ। धन धन सतगुरु नानक देव साहिब जी महाराज, धन धन सतगुरु गोबिंद सिंह साहिब जी महाराज, धन धन निरंकार आप अकाल पुरख वाहिगुरु सतगुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी महाराज जी दी निगी गोद विच सजी हुई गुरु रूप गुरु खालसा गुरु प्यारी गुरु सवारी साध संगत जी। Let us all now focus our attention on Dhan Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and say Gurfateh. So Maharaj blesses us with whatever we are about to listen to, that it may find a place in our hearts. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh Ji. So Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, we have now reached the 29th Hukam of 52 Hukams that Dhan Satguru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj blessed us with that Sri Huzur Sahib. And the 29th Hukam is Shatru de naal saam daam bhed aadiak upaa vartnae uprant yudh karna dharm hai. Translated, that means that with the enemy at first use conciliation, money. Also use discord as measures to subdue the enemy. Having failed all that, then it is righteous to do war. So Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, this planet that we live on, it's known as a Karma Bhumi. Karma Bhumi is where we come to meet out our destiny, our desires, the transaction of our outstanding deeds. And in order to do that, what we have to take on is a body. The Hukams group doesn't take any karma. It doesn't meet out any karma. For it to meet out that karma, for us to meet out the desires that we have had, for us to meet out anything else, we must take on a body. When we've taken on that body, Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, wherever, at whatever stage it is in the June process, eventually we arrive at at this form, the human form. And when we get this human form, the whole reason of having this human form, we've heard many times, is so we can come out of the chakra of life and death. Those of you that are sitting here, all of you, your upaa Maharaj has made such that you've come into the Sadh Sangat here. Whoever Guru Sahib Ji brings into the Sadh Sangat, they do not then again and again face life and birth, life and death. They end up getting to that door of salvation or mukti. But everyone that is sitting here, that can be said true for you. But equally at the same time, if you look across, just even Slough, there are what, 2, maybe 3 Gurdwara? And out of those 2 or 3 Gurdwara, other than that, there's a whole population of people, millions of them. But they are not sitting in the Sadh Sangat. Their destiny is not as such. And amongst those people, you will get people that do believe in God. You'll get equally those people that do not believe in God. You get the ones in between that do believe in God but don't want to listen to what Bhai has to say. And across the globe, you will get those people that will kill you in the name of God. Now, because not everyone chooses the path of bhakti, as you guys are sitting here doing, sitting in the Sadh Sangat is one form of bhakti. Then what you're living against, what you're living amongst, is a planetary population on the large part that are not heading towards mukti. Those of us that have made it through Guruji's Kripa, of course, our aim in life to come one with Guru, we tend to live a very peaceful life, a very calm life, a life in which we read every single day. Maharaj says, Sabha mein jyot, jyot hai soe, tis da chandan, Sabha mein chandan hoye. A life in which we see that Sabha mein jyot, the jyot that I've got inside, which is a Kalpurukh Bhai Guruji's jyot, is the jyot in everyone. When our mind gets conditioned as such, we have no varying, we have no foreign enemy, we have nothing. All you live amongst is a very peaceful time and a very peaceful people. But that isn't the case. So when you're living a life which is a life of peace, which is a life of calm, where you don't trouble anyone, you live an honest life according to Guru's mat, and then you've got someone who living the opposite, then arrives at your door. Whether that's in an individual respect, in a political respect, or whether it's in the respect where someone comes and conquers the land or nation that you live in. Then what do you do at that stage? What Guru Sahib Ji has taught us what to do, even before Guru Sahib Ji, even though Guru Sahib Ji are eternal, before they manifest themselves on this planet, the same 4 procedures have been used not only by those religions from the India range of countries, but even in the lands in Europe over here. And those 4 procedures, Maharaj says, Shatru de naal, saam, daam, bhed, upaa, vartnae, uprant, daam, bhed, yudh karna. So those 4 procedures are first of all, with anyone, like I said, whether it's in your individual respect, in a political arena, or whether it's where someone has now come and invaded the country you live in. The very first method we should use is one of sham, conciliation, to reason with that person, that tyrant that is trying to oppress or even control you. Even though we are people who live a nirvair life, however, the person you're dealing with may not be living a nirvair life. We may not see somebody as an enemy, but the person that's trying to oppress you may see you as an enemy, but they do see you as an enemy. And by that person seeing you as an enemy, purely by virtue of that, you have now got an enemy. The very first thing that Maharaj teaches us to deal with an enemy is sham. To deal with a person in a very sweet way, in a calm way, in a very peaceful way. If someone's coming to us full of rage and full of anger, and we then mirror exactly what they've got and we behave in an angry way, then nothing else is going to take place other than a battle. But whereas when we deal with someone who's already full of rage with a sweet calm, if they're not willing to give up their gun, if they're not willing to give up their way of being angry, then why should we give up our way of being peaceful and calm? So when you use sweetness, you remain calm, and you deal with a person in a very, very calm nature, usually that other person feels that they are the dominant one and they will back away. Or if they have not got their desired effect from you, for example, you getting angry at them, then nothing's going to take place, it finishes there. So, if the situation diffuses in that way, then that's the best approach. But there again, having said that, there will be some individuals, they may back off for a little while, and then sooner or later they will attempt again. They will come and trouble you again. Or you will learn that they are still harboring ill will towards you. So Maharaj teaches us the second step, which is daam, which is to give money, to give gifts. Now when we hear this, we automatically begin to think that, hold on, if we're giving money, we're kind of like bowing before them, we're inferior, they're superior. No, it's not. What it's a matter of is, again, trying to diffuse the situation, and if that can be done by distracting their attention away from you when they look at you as an enemy, when they look at you as someone they want to squash. When they start doing that, then what you... Sorry about this. Single, can you deal with that later on, please? Because I can't concentrate and I don't think you can either. So when you've got someone at the second step, when you're giving money, you're giving any gifts, all you're doing is you're distracting them. And if you look through the history even of this country, I'm going to come back to when the Romans invaded Britain, the tariqa they used, even though we're looking at this from a position of defense and they used it from a position of offense, however, the procedure was exactly the same. So when you're giving gifts or money, what you're doing is you're distracting that person's mind away from you. Sooner or later, it's not, no one's going to live forever. That person could die in battle, that person could go to war with somebody else, they could lose their rule. As long as you end up maintaining your self-development, your own conduct, there is no harm in giving money. It's actually a very good strategy. The third strategy is bhed, discord. Bhed, we live in an age where we have many superpowers across the world, and all of them have their own intelligence services. To place your people amongst that person, trying to gain rule over you and trying to gain power over you, to find out what? To find out have they got any internal differences, and then exploit them. To find out what their weaknesses are, to find out with who else they've got enmity with. Because when someone who you've been sweet with, you've even given gifts to, is still harboring hostilities towards you in their heart, it's not going to be long before they try to kill you by the sword. And in order to have a good chance of fighting a person, look, it's not necessarily that you need to have a nation. Even if you haven't got a nation, as a people living in a nation, it is best to be prepared. Your nation's defenses can go down, somebody else may invade. And then you need to have enough intelligence on that person. When people come to rule back in the days of kings and queens, when kings ruled, it wouldn't be just one man ruling, even though on the face of it you'd see one man ruling, there'd be several families that come together to establish rule. Like for example, during the Mughals, it was the Chowkate clan. It was a clan that ruled, but at the face of it was the emperor. So find out how in between them Guruji teaches us what their differences are. And if their differences are so great that one wants to overthrow the other one and rule, make friends with them. What do they say? My enemy's enemy is my friend. Find out what other enemies people have got, because when the time comes to use all these pieces of information and intelligence, puts your odds of winning even higher. Like I said, this is not necessarily just for at a scale where it's a nation involved, even at an individual level. I remember back when we were young, there were many parts in this country when we used to live where the NF ruled supreme, but amongst them there were people that were good people that didn't have hatred towards you. So even on an individual level, if you've got an enemy, even though you have not sought that enemy, but they have now marked you as their enemy, you must find out what their weaknesses are, who their enemies are, who the good people in their family are, who the bad people in their family are. One of the most famous battles of all, you all hear every single year during Diwali, was between Ramchandraji and Ravan. How did Ramchandraji come to conquer Ravan? He made an allegiance with his brother Vibhishan. It was Vibhishan who disclosed to Ramchandraji where Ravan kept his Amrit in his Nabi. Until that arrow did not hit him in the Nabi, Ravan was indestructible, no one could kill him. So there's a prime example there. Here in England, in the 1st century, there was 27 different ruling tribes, out of which 8 dominated this southeastern region. When the Romans came to rule here, now like I said before, the benti in the bar here is to look at this from a defensive view. But people have used this from an offensive point as well. When the Romans came to rule here, the first thing they did was sham. They made friends with all of those 8 tribes that were dominating this southern eastern area. Why did they make friends with them? Because they knew if there's 27 different tribes, that means 27 of them want to one day seize power. They made friends with them. Once they made friends with them, they start giving them gifts, gain their trust, and then they funded the wars in between them. Once you funded the wars in between them, what happens is you've effectively divided your list of enemy in half. Because one's going to win and one's going to lose. When the British went to rule in India, when the East Indian Company were in India, there was approximately 2,000 rulers that ranged anywhere from your tribal chiefs to kings who had a certain area allocated to rule. And between those 2,000, the policy they used is this one here: saam, daam, bhed, and then in the end done. They got the kings who were friends. They made friends with both of them. Once they made friends with both of them, what did they do? They turned them both against each other. Once they turned them against each other, then there's only one thing that was going to happen: war. And they funded the war on both sides. Why? The loser, they're going to get their money back from them anyway because they're already friends with the winner. The winner's going to pay back the money they lent them to from the war anyway. Once they've done that, they've made a strong alliance with them. One day they'll stab them in the back as well and get them to fight somebody else. Eventually they came to rule over the entire land of what we know as India and Pakistan today. So these strategies Maharaj has given us of saam, daam and bhed, we do not have to use them in the procedure, in the order that we've heard them. We can use all 3 at once. Because you can never ever know when the enemy is going to attack. Famous teaching of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj. Maharaj used to sleep with a 18-inch wali Sri Sahib under their pillow without a sheath. Now Guru Gobind Singh Ji, I want to do one benti Gurmukh Pyaro. Guru Gobind Singh Ji doesn't need any shastra. Not at all. But they're the perfect guru, and the perfect guru teaches us by practice and by example. They kept an 18-inch city set without a sheath under their pillow. And when some of the Sevadars were thinking about it, they never asked Maharaj. Maharaj knew what they wanted to ask. Maharaj says, Gurmukho jo koi gal puchni hai, puch lo. Dekho Maharaj bina miyan to 18 inches khad gaye. Tusi sarane thale rakh de. Why do you need that when there's paradar outside? Guru Gobind Singh said, Gurmukh ek gal yaad rakhiyo, remember one thing. The enemy will not announce the attack, they'll just come and attack. Tiyar par tiyar rehna painda in this manner. So, having adopted all three methods, either one by one or simultaneously, if then still the tyrant is so hostile towards you that you know that their next step is going to be only one to come and slay you, then Guru Pyari Sahib Singh Ji Maharaj Tam Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji to is full agya. Maharaj kehndे फिर डट के धर्म दा युद्ध करियो. Now what happens is we got this worldly narrative that I don't want to kill anyone. Even before Guruji's time, the narrative across the lands of India was one of ahimsa, we not to kill. When Bhai Kabir Ji's followers came and met with Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, they said to Maharaj, they said, where have you got this Shastra from? Why are you keeping warriors? Why are you prepared to fight? Ahimsa is the highest. Maharaj said no. Maharaj says to do jang, to do judh in order to preserve peace is the highest way of living. Maharaj says our siddhant is not to lay down in front of the person and be slain. Our siddhant says this: if somebody hits you in the head with a stone, get a rock, a big rock, and smash his head open. Our life is the most important thing. Maharaj says no one has a reason, no one has the right, I beg your pardon, to take your life away from you. And if that means doing battle and slaying the other person, fir dharm karna judd hai. Krishna ji, at the time of Kurukshetra, when the jang happened, Arjun, his finest archer, threw his bow and his arrows on the floor. And when he did that, he said, Maharaj, he said, I'm not going to fight. He goes, look down there. Look down there, there's my chacha there, my brothers there. Father is going to fight against son. He said, I'm not doing this. Main paap nahi karna. Krishna ji told him at that time, he said, Aade swarthali, for your own benefit and gain, worldly or financially, to do jang, as people do when they invade and conquer. Oh paap hai. But to do jang, to do battle, in order to preserve peace and to protect yourself and others, and to kill in that capacity as well. Oh Papni, that is not sin. That we have been given full agya from Guru Sahib Ji Maharaj. Maharaj says, Chukar az hame, hirate dar guzasht, halal ast burdan besham sheer dast. Those famous panktiyan from Sri Zafarnama Sahib. When Guru Gobind Singh Ji wrote to Aurangzeb and told him, Maharaj says, when all other methods have been sought and addressed to right or wrong, and even then, that wrong has not been righted. Maharaj says it is halal. Now, ek benti ya halal is not the meat they sell in butcher shops. The words halal and haram, they mean righteous and unrighteous. Although we come across it on a large scale in food stores, Maharaj says it is halal, it is righteous, it is right then to take a hold of this, withdraw it, and then come what may. So Gurmukh, those are the 4 tariqe that Guru Sahib Ji has told us. The Romans have used them, the British have used them, many others have used them. Even though they've used them in offense, the benti to us, the hukam to us, but the benti in Darbar is that we use them in defense. So that brings us to the end of this Diwan for Katha of Bunja Hukam. The Ragi Singhs are now here. They will bless you with Raspinna Kirtan. Whilst doing Katha, absolutely no doubt that I made untold mistakes. You are all wise and learned. Maaf karna, the Guru Sahib ji ne charna ch ardas bhi karni, that we too get buddhi to do Katha. Das would like to thank Dhan Sat Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, and thank you to all of you Sadh Sangat Ji. It's always great to take your darshan. And until next week again, let's say good fateh, and may Maharaj bless us with the ability to live by what we have heard. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.